Hello everyone, it's Eva, and in this video I'm going to give you my honest review of Mists of Pandaria Classic, covering all the major features and changes that you should be aware of if you're unsure whether to try the game, or if you played MoP when it first released and you're just looking for a refresher. Just a quick disclaimer before we begin, as this is a review video, these are all my own opinions of the game which some players may not agree with. Be sure to leave your thoughts below if you'd like to share. Overall, I really enjoyed Mists of Pandaria the first time around, and I'm excited to be playing it again and reliving a lot of the nostalgia I had for the game back in 2012 and onwards. MoP has some of my all-time favourite zones with interesting quests, beautiful environments, fun characters, and an exceptional musical score. Coming from Cataclysm into MoP, it really feels like Blizzard were just having fun with this expansion, which makes me as the player have fun too. It has its flaws, of course, but if you've never played Mists of Pandaria before, I would highly recommend trying it. Let's start by taking a look at the new race that launched with Mists of Pandaria, the Pandaren. The Pandaren were the first neutral race added to World of Warcraft, meaning that when you create a panda, you play through their starting zone and at the end, you get to choose whether to join the Alliance or the Horde. I personally liked this feature as it felt more impactful than the standard character creation process, and it made me weigh the pros and cons of each faction. Also, the vast majority of the Pandaren starting area is very charming and the story flows nicely, so you feel like you're actually playing in accordance with the storyline. And although there is a lot of travel involved between certain quests, you have access to handy transport options to keep travel time minimal. Pandaren also benefit from some really fun racials like reduced full damage, double effectiveness from well-fed buffs, increased cooking skill, earning twice as much rested experience, and the ability to incapacitate an enemy for up to 4 seconds. Along with the new race, MoP Classic also introduces the Monk class, which is immediately available to all races except for Worgen and Goblin. Monks can fill tank, healer, or melee DPS roles, making them super versatile for both leveling and endgame content, and allows you as the player to fill different roles based on your preferences. Each spec also feels separate from one another with their own themes and animations, and since they are the newest class added to the game, they start out the gate pretty strong in terms of their throughput. So if you also enjoy higher end content, Monk would still be a great choice for you. MoP Classic introduces a whole host of brand new zones to the game, including the Pandaren exclusive starting zone, the Wandering Isle, as well as all the new leveling zones for level 85 to 90. Each zone has specific themes and features that inform the way they look and feel to play in. For example, the Jade Forest is a lush expanse of natural landscapes, heavily contrasted by the conflict and bloodshed between the Horde and Alliance. The Valley of the Four Winds is full of agriculture with farms, breweries, and wildlife. And Kunlai Summit is a snowy, mountainous area littered with all sorts of threats like the Mogu, the Yongle, and the Shah. One thing to be aware of during the leveling process from 85 to 90 is that it will take the average player a substantial amount of time to reach max level if you follow the quest campaigns through each zone. Level 85 to 86 alone will require 13 million experience, so if you're used to leveling in retail WoW, this will likely be a shock to your system. The talent system received a rework in MoP Classic as well, and it's one thing that I'm not particularly fond of. Regardless of which spec you choose, for example whether you play as a Feral, Balance, or Restoration Druid, you will have the exact same talent options across all specs. Not only that, but there are also fewer talent points, and you only unlock one new talent every 15 levels. So again, if you play retail WoW and you're used to playing with class, spec, and hero talents, you will be very limited in MoP Classic. Having said this, the fewer talent options allows for arguably more important choices to be made based on the type of content you're playing, and it should also result in having fewer buttons to press across the board. Unless you play a druid, of course. Moving on to PvE content, I would say that Mists of Pandaria had some of my favourite dungeons and raids in the game to date, not necessarily based on their layouts, bosses, or mechanics, but they are full of character, story, and charm, and they complement the storylines happening outside of the instances very well too. Dungeons feel well paced and not too long, and they are for the most part linear, so you don't feel like you're going back on yourself to get to the end. They're tuned well and drop good amounts of gear, which make them great for both leveling and gearing at max level. Scenarios are also a brand new addition to the game in MoP, which are another form of queued instance content that can be played either solo or in a group of up to 3 players. There's even the option of playing heroic scenarios for more of a challenge, which then rewards gear similar to raid item level, which makes it a great alternative for players who prefer playing solo or don't enjoy raiding. The final new feature in MoP Classic are pet battles. These are an optional piece of side content that involve collecting and battling pets from your account-wide collection. Pets can be tamed out in the wild and then leveled up through pet battles, and you can even fight pet tamer NPCs and other players around the world for extra rewards. There is no player power tied to pet battling, but if you enjoy collecting and/or achievement hunting, there's plenty to keep you busy. So now that we've covered all the biggest features, updates and changes in Mists of Pandaria Classic, I personally would highly recommend MoP Classic to anyone, whether they have experience with the original game or not. It's full of story, whimsy and comedy, with some outstanding characters, zones, music and gameplay. If you'd like to share your own thoughts on the game, or if you have any questions about anything in this video, please leave a comment below. Also, if you'd like to catch me live one day, you're always welcome over on my Twitch channel, which is linked in the description, along with all of my other socials. For now though, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, have fun in MoP Classic if you choose to play, and I hope to see you again very soon. Bye!